Hey everyone, Jason here, digital marketing consultant, and in this landing page guide, we are going to use the 6 principles of persuasion from the book Influence by Robert Cialdini. And when Warren Buffett recommends a book, you know it has to be good. So timestamps below, along with some other helpful videos to actually building out your landing page. Let's go ahead and dive into principle number 1, and that's going to be consistency. And while there is some consistency we need to do on our part in terms of our ads and our landing page, which we'll get to in a moment, what's more important is the consistency in the subconscious mind of our visitors. Now, this one's going to feel a little bit woo-woo, just because I'm going to be oversimplifying this principle. But essentially, consistency is the understanding that people want to be perceived as taking consistent action, especially when it comes to trying to achieve the results or something that they've already committed to, because people don't like being seen as liars. So what this translates into for landing pages is micro commitments. That is, they clicked on your ad, and whether consciously or subconsciously, they are making a commitment to take a step towards achieving the result that they're looking to achieve or overcome a roadblock that they are dealing with. And so they've already made a commitment by clicking your ad. And so on your landing page, when it comes to that call to action button, you want to make it very explicit and tied to what they are trying to achieve or what they're trying to overcome. So instead of having our call to action button simply being grab the ebook, we could change it to, yes, I want to grow my channel. Now, this is going to sound strange, but by someone not clicking it, they're saying subconsciously, I don't actually want to grow my channel. Now, this isn't NLP. This isn't some woo-woo wizardry stuff. This is just a basic oversimplification of how human psychology works. And so when it comes to your calls to action buttons, something that you can do to really help increase your conversions is tie whatever the button text is directly to what someone's trying to achieve or what someone is trying to overcome. And of course, this also requires consistency on our part when it comes to making sure the messaging, the call to action, the roadblocks and results that we talk about in our ad matches up to our landing page. So there is a consistent continuum of micro commitments someone can take. After all, if our ad talks about one thing and our landing page talks about another, well, there's a break in the continuum of consistency, and you're not going to get all those micro commitments leading up to actually someone converting. Now, principle number 2 is going to be reciprocity. And this is why landing pages actually work. And that's because people have a natural propensity to want to reciprocate when something of value or something is given to them. And just think of it as scales, right? So when someone gives you something for free or someone does something nice for you, our subconscious mind, well, most of us, right, want to essentially even out those scales. So we, along with our website visitors, want things to be even. And this is where the lead magnet comes in. Now, of course, this only works if the lead magnet is actually valuable, right? We've gone to a lot of landing pages and you look at the lead magnet, or you've gotten a lead magnet and you go, this is utter garbage. Like, why on earth would I give my email for this, right? Even though our email technically is free and we could just unsubscribe or mark as spam because we're really pissed off. But in any case, the landing page works because it works on the principle of reciprocity. We are offering something of value, the lead magnet, and in exchange, we want the contact information, and that's how the scales stay even. Now, I'll link up in the cards in the description to a video that takes a super deep dive into all different types of lead magnets, from coming up with templates, specific video training, coming up with audits to help them go through a specific process. So link in the cards in the description to that video, as well as a playlist on how to actually make great looking lead magnets in Canva. And so when it comes to our landing page design, all you need to do is have a great looking image that represents your lead magnet and clearly communicates that it is actually valuable and it is actually going to do something of value for your site visitors. Now, number 3 is going to be pretty self-explanatory, and that is liking, because people like doing business with and listening to people they actually like and trust. Now, we'll get to trust when we talk about the next one, authority, but here, what you want to do with your landing page is, number 1, keep a conversational tone. If you wouldn't talk to a real person IRL in the language that you're using, then don't use it on your landing page. Don't be super formal. Don't use business speak. Don't use industry jargon. Just talk like you're talking to a normal person that you run into at a coffee shop or something, right? So number 2 here is going to be very important, is you need to have a clear picture of who your ideal customer actually is. There are a lot of different people who could find value in your lead magnet, find value in your products or services, but you want to have a clear picture of who your customer avatar is. So I'll link up in the cards in the description to a video that takes a super deep dive into that, of course. But the reason that you want to do this is if you're going to be writing headlines, you're going to be writing bullet points that speak to specific results they're trying to achieve or roadblocks or experiences that they want to get away from, you're not going to be able to do this effectively and connect with people if you don't know who you're trying to connect to. Because after all, I like to say, copy that speaks to everyone winds up connecting with no one. So having a clear picture of who you're talking to, and this is where things like pop culture references and memes can really work in your favor or really work against you. And you've probably experienced this yourself, watching YouTube videos or reading blog posts, scrolling through Facebook or going to landing pages where there's a joke or a pop culture reference and it just seems completely out of left field. So you want to make sure that everything that you're writing is in a conversational tone and is connecting with the right ideal audience, and you're not referencing things or making jokes that no one in your ideal audience or prospect group is actually going to understand or even care about. And so this comes down to mostly the copy on the page. Now, the next one, number 4, is going to be authority. And this is simply the principle that people are much more likely to listen to people they see as an authority. Now, for the most part with your landing page, I don't actually recommend doing a lot for this principle because it's so easy to come across as arrogant or produce too many results or too much authority to the point where you get disconnected from actually relating to your ideal customer or ideal prospect. And then the liking principle, which is more important, starts to deteriorate and go away. So there is a balance sometimes with these persuasion principles and making sure that we're using them at the proper time in our funnels. So most of that authority is going to be used in the ad to actually get people to click. But when it comes to the landing page itself, you have 2 options here. Number 1, which I always recommend, is have a picture of yourself. If you've appeared on some media properties or received some awards and there's a image of a logo that you can put next to your particular image on the landing page that someone would instantly recognize and go, oh, this person must be legitimate. They must know what they're talking about. Then go ahead and do that. Of course, 9 out of 10 of us don't have that. So the next thing you can do is, if it works with your bullet points on your landing page, you can say something to the effect of research has shown or experts say. And this is something that you can use in those bullet points to back up some of the claims that are being made. And so those are the 2 ways you can kind of use the principles of authority, but this is not to be confused with the next one, number 5, which is going to be social proof. So here with social proof, unlike authority, we're going to make the focus people who have found value in what you have to offer already. Now, when it comes to testimonials and endorsements demonstrating that you've been helpful to others, it doesn't necessarily have to be the specific offer on your landing page, because often you're going to be testing a lot of different offers. So you won't already have testimonials because you're running a landing page test, right? So even if they're just endorsements of you or your company in general, as long as it's clear that they're about you and your company, not the specific offer being talked about at the top of the landing page, it's okay to have those on here. And it's a good way to add some social proof and, of course, credibility to what you have. Now, most of us aren't going to have those because we're just getting started. And so what you can do instead is, next to the picture of yourself, instead of talking about everything that you've achieved and how awesome you are to build some authority, and of course, in a humble way, we don't want to come across as arrogant or pompous, then instead of doing that, I'd actually recommend talking about how you think the offer is going to be valuable to them, and share a little bit of insight as to maybe how this offer came about or how you use it to overcome roadblocks or achieve success. And of course, that roadblock or success should be very similar to what your ideal customer is trying to overcome. So now we're on the home stretch here, number 6, and this is going to be scarcity. And you've probably seen countdown timers before, so let's just get this out of the way. If it's not an actual time-limited offer, then please don't use a countdown timer. We've all been on those webinars that say they're live and they're not actually, and we've all gone back to product pages that say you only have 12 hours to buy, and you just see the timer just keeps repeating itself over and over again. So when it comes to scarcity, it needs to actually be real. So please don't fake it, because you're just going to hurt your long-term brand. And people are going to easily figure out that it is not real scarcity. So what can you do with scarcity? It can, of course, be countdown timers, which we've probably all seen and gotten sick of. It could be a number of items left, or as a final example, if it's later on in your sales process, probably not on your landing page, some sort of multi-day guarantee. So that does it for these 6 principles of persuasion from the book Influence. I highly recommend you check out the book. It is a very, very good read. And of course, when Warren Buffett recommends a book, it's probably pretty dang good. So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more marketing videos just like this one. And until the next, keep building the business you love.